What's happening, guys? This is Bharat Nakwal for iGyan.in, and today we'll be reviewing the new HTC Sensation. This is the first dual-core smartphone from HTC. Let's start off with the build quality. This phone is priced at about 30,000 rupees, and this is possibly the most well-built phone you can get for this price. The phone has really nice rubber accents on the back side, on the top near the camera, where it says with HTC Sense. The back is essentially a unibody aluminium structure which is completely removable, and the rest of the internals of the device can be exposed. But this is one solid piece of metal, and it's really solid. So we really like the build quality of this back panel. Really nice and robust construction from HTC as always. They've not failed to surprise us with their improved build qualities. Let's talk about the front over here. On the front you have a very nice earphone next to which is an LED indicator and a front-facing VGA camera. The VGA camera is quite disappointing. Apart from that, you have a really nice 4.3-inch QHD display screen. That's essentially 960 by 540 pixels, so really nice resolution for the size of the display. It still doesn't compare to the Retina display of the iPhone 4, but a really nice improvement over the standard LCD screens. And the front of this display is a Gorilla Glass display. It's highly scratch resistant. It also tapers to the outside on the edges over here, so you won't be hurting your fingers from sharp edges of the screen. It kind of turns up on the edges, on all four edges, so it's really nice. We really like the design of the glass LCD front. It looks really good on the device. Below the LCD display over here are four standard Android buttons: the home button, the menu button, the back button, and the search button. These buttons are placed very convenient and seemingly far away from the display area, so you don't touch them accidentally. So that's something which is nice, and they're also close to the edge, which is slightly raised from the bottom over here, so you know where you are tapping when you are tapping on a button. The power button and the volume buttons are really very tactile compared to the Desire HD. They're a huge improvement for HTC, and we really like these buttons. Also, the 3.5mm jack now is not a tilted jack, it's a full, which is flat. The top of the jack is flat, so the earphone plug fits in properly onto this jack and does not give you a problem as it did in the Desire HD. The 8 megapixel camera does full HD video recording, and we'll have a sample of that in the video response below, so you can click on that. And the dual LED flash does a great job of illuminating your subject. So that's the exterior of the device. Let's go on and take a look at the user interface. HTC Sensation is also one of the first phones to come with the new HTC Sense 3.0. In this, they've actually changed the full design of the lock screen, where you can just pull out this ring instead of a slider, which is usually here. You can pull this ring out to unlock your device. This is a really nice lock screen from HTC, and this is one of the main reasons that people are going for the HTC Sensation, is the new user interface display from HTC Sense. The interesting aspect about it is that you need to pull this ring out to unlock the device, and you also have four customizable shortcuts over here, which you can choose what applications you want to put here, and you can simply jump to those applications by pulling those applications into the ring. So that makes it really convenient, and you can put all your frequently used applications in the top panel over here just above the ring, so that you can jump to them with convenience. The main home screen of the HTC Sensation. As you can see, you get the animation for the weather. Right now it's really cloudy and windy, so you get that animation over here. You also get standard 7 lock screens, 3 on either side of the main screen. You can also continue to scroll so that you don't have to come back to the opposite side. What this does is give you a carousel effect, and you can quickly jump from one screen to another by simply tapping down on it. Also, you have this new weather widget with which you can put your cities in and scroll through the weather of your favorite cities. You also have a standard notification panel over here. This shows you all your latest emails, notifications, your installed apps, and your recent applications are on the top over here as well. You can also jump into quick settings by hitting the bottom tab over here. You get a host of quick settings that you can turn on or off. You can turn on or off Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi hotspot, mobile networks, Bluetooth, GPS. You can also quickly jump into all settings from here and look at the total memory which is available on the device and the total memory which is on the device as well. Very nice user interface from HTC. We really like the animations and the widgets. You also have this new customization panel, personalization panel, which was included from HTC Sense 2.1 onwards, and this was first introduced on the Desire HD. You can switch from a work scene to a play scene to a social scene, so these are pre-made and available to switch for your convenience. Also, you have a bunch of skins now which helps you change the layout of the phone and the way the lock screen and everything interacts with you. You also have a bunch of wallpapers. You can choose from HTC wallpapers, live wallpapers, or your own picture gallery, and you can customize your lock screen by hitting the lock screen panel over here. So you can get different types of lock screens. You have the standard lock screen that I just showed you right now, and then you have a photo album lock screen which displays all your photographs on the lock screen. Then you have a social feed or the friend stream lock screen, which will give all your status updates here. Then you have the weather lock screen, the stocks, and a clock lock screen. So I'm going to put on the weather lock screen just to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to quickly jump out and lock it, and this is what your screen will look like every time you attempt to unlock it. So really nice user interface from HTC, definitely much better than the Samsung Touch Wiz user interface, which is pretty plain and doesn't do much interactivity with you. The build quality is also far superior to the Samsung Galaxy S2, but we'll get to that much later. Let's continue talking about the user interface right now. Okay, so jumping into the phone dialer right now, you get a standard HTC dialer. You have large dialing buttons over here. You also have a search by voice button, which is a small microphone. You can tap this and search for somebody's name using the voice recognition on this. You can also move over the keypad by pressing this button, and you can look at your recent calls or your call history by tapping that button over there. You can also jump into your contacts and look at all your contacts in the contact list over here. Really nice and convenient dialer. You'll have no problems making calls or receiving them. Really efficient dialer from HTC on this. Let's quickly jump into messaging, and we'll show you the keyboard. This is the standard HTC keyboard that comes on the Sensation. Fairly nice and efficient keyboard. It has autocorrect, so it will correct all your mistakes as you type along, and if you do have a new word to feed in, you can double tap on it. It will save that word for later use, so you'll really like typing on this keyboard a lot. You also get a small haptic feedback every time you tap the keyboard, so it confirms the keyboard's response and that it has received an input. You can also switch from portrait to landscape in a single switch by simply turning the device. The keyboard becomes much larger and much easier to use, so if you do a lot of texting, you'll really like the landscape mode as well. Also, you can tap down on the input area to bring up the other functions of this. You can select word, cut, copy, paste by simply tapping down on a word or the input area. So that's something which is nice as well for the keyboard. You have these really convenient and large sized selection buttons over here as well, so you can move those around, go to the location that you want to edit and edit that place, and then come back and continue writing your message. Makes it really convenient and easy to use. Let's come back to the main screen. I'm going to go into the full application drawer over here. You have your whole list of applications. One thing that we don't like in this new HTC Sense user interface is that you can't scroll through the grid of your icons in one single sweep. It goes page by page. That kind of irritates us a little bit, but HTC has included a list function where it makes it into a list, but you can't have a grid and scroll to the bottom. It'll go page by page. You also have a bunch of frequently used applications which are selected by HTC according to your use. So that's something which is really interesting and a good feature that has been added into the Sense user interface. Also, your downloaded applications are kept in a separate area as well. So that's something which is also very nice. We're going to quickly jump into the internet browser, and we're going to jump to iGAN.in. It loads up the website in the mobile mode. Fairly fast and easy to use browser, really convenient, and it loads up the full website in the mobile mode without any issue. As you can see, kinetic scrolling very smooth, and the dual core processors are doing their job. A 1 GHz dual core processor in the HTC Sensation works fairly brilliantly, and we faced no lag while using this device over a period of several days. As you can see, pinching and zooming in is really smooth and efficient, and again in the full website scrolling is really smooth. Kinetic scrolling works brilliantly. When you zoom into a feature over here, HTC Sense will automatically lay the text within your window so that you don't have to scroll left or right to read the text that you're focusing on. So that's something which is an ingenious feature that has been coming in the HTC Sense user interface for a very long time. Makes browsing the internet a really easy and fun to use activity. The browser also loads all Flash animations and Flash content from the internet, and you will have no issues playing Flash. And you also get the new update of Flash 10.3, which is a recently released security update. So all those things will show in this as well. Let's quickly jump into our YouTube video and see if we can play this for you in full screen in high quality on the screen of the HTC Sensation. The speakerphone is not as loud as we'd like it to be, but we are really happy with the screen on the device, and the resolution of the screen is 960 by 540, which makes watching videos a really fun to do activity on this mobile device. Let's quickly jump into the camera, and we'll look at the camera here. An 8 megapixel tap to focus camera, which is an autofocus camera. In our previous video, a lot of users were asking us about this white light. This thing is happening on the screen because of our studio lighting, and because our lights are so bright, the camera cannot actually capture it. But in a normal situation, the camera performs brilliantly. You'll have no issue with that. And again, you have a bunch of settings that you can adjust. You can set the camera resolution. You can adjust the white balance, the ISO settings, your review duration. If you want a wide screenshot or a regular screenshot, you want to geotag photographs. There are also a bunch of scene modes that HTC has in video and photo mode. You also have a bunch of effects that you can put on your video, so that's something which is really nice. The front-facing camera on the device is not that great. I'm going to quickly switch to that. Looks really good on the screen. Not a really large resolution camera. You do, however, get a bunch of effects that you can put in the front images as well, so you can play around with the images, take a bunch of nice interesting images and use them as your profile pictures on Facebook. The rear camera is pretty good, and we were very happy with the rear camera's capabilities. Video recording at 1080p is really nice, and you will be really using this camera a lot outdoors as well as indoors, because the LED lights do a good job of illuminating your subject. So the camera app, really a good camera from HTC on the Sensation. I'm going to show you a multi-touch test. This device has 4 touch points, and you can easily achieve those touch points by tapping on the screen 4 times. So you can do multiple activities with this device's screen. Unlike other devices that we've been testing earlier, this has a full 4 touch points, and they do not reverse access when you bring them closer. And it's highly accurate. No matter how slow or fast you move it around the screen, it will track you. So it's very accurate. The touch sensitivity of the device is really nice. No reverse access cycling happens, so that's something which is really nice. The response on the screen is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to quickly run a bunch of benchmarks for you guys. We'll start with quadrant. The score on this is 1800. A lot of you will be surprised why the score is so low. And the HTC Sense uses a lot of RAM and graphics, and we found that out by easily switching the Sense UI. We switched the Sense UI into another launcher, and we're going to show you that in just a second. We just switched to a different launcher from the marketplace. We downloaded the Windows 7 launcher. Makes the device look like a Windows 7 mobile, and it's a fairly nice launcher. It's called Launcher 7, so if you like it, check it out. But that's not the purpose of showing you the launcher. The launcher actually improves the quadrant benchmark result considerably, and it shows how HTC Sense consumes a lot of processor and graphic power. So let's run the quadrant benchmark test again. As you can see, a considerable improvement. Now the score is 2196, so which is a large improvement over the previous score, which is only 1700. And to test the graphic performance of the device, we'll run NeoCore now. So almost always you get 60 FPS, which is really impressive with the HTC Sensation. Let's quickly show you gaming on this device as well. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, this was the new HTC Sensation. For more unboxing, video reviews and tutorials, please log on to iGyan.in or subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button above the video. If you have any questions, please log on to igyanforum.com and post your questions over there. If you have any feedback or comments, please leave those in the comment section below. You can also catch us on Facebook and or Twitter. The links to those are in the description below or at the end of this video. For a video sample and sample shots of the device, please log on to the full written review on iGyan.in.